But first we go live to Pennsylvania, where a group of undecided Democratic voters are with our own Frank Luntz. Frank, I'm dying to get their impressions of tonight.
Well, so am I, so let's go right to it. You watched the hour-and-a-half debate on ABC. The first question is who won it, and you got to choose. By show of hands, how many of you thought Hillary Clinton? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like it's going to be narrowly Clinton. How many thought Barack Obama? It's pretty darn close. How many of you walked in here leaning ever so slightly towards Senator Clinton, but you're going to walk out of here ever so slightly towards Obama? Anybody? We got one individual. Jackie, tell me why.
I just felt that he presented himself better. He addressed the issues. He answered. I was more leaning towards Hillary in the beginning, but now I'm leaning towards Obama. I just felt he presented his issues better. He answered the questions better. Even a negative.
And did anyone go in the other direction? Did anyone walk in here supporting Obama, and now you're leaning towards Hillary? Go ahead, tell me why.
I think that every time they started talking about policy decisions, it was a no-brainer that Hillary knew what she was talking about and could talk about it. The rest of it, Obama, he's touchy-feely, but...
Okay, so you're nodding your heads. Who thought Hillary did better on policy, just on policy? Okay, so she wins on policy. Isn't that enough? Isn't that enough?
Should be.
No.
That's supposed to be the reason.
No, because the Republicans always bring out the evangelist, and then they always bring in the religion and where you stand on abortion, gay rights, and the whole schmear.
I think that when they talk about Reverend Wright, that is important. He spent 20 years in this temple. I've left synagogues when people have said things worse than that. And I think that that is important to people. But I think Hillary won. I think if we could get a candidate with Obama's charisma and Hillary's mind, we'd be in good shape.
I think the last question that Obama ducked on the gun control in Washington, D.C., he's a former constitutional law professor, and he doesn't have an idea as to whether that law is constitutional?
He said he didn't read the briefs. I mean, he's a lawyer, so he's not going to just go off the cuff about a thing he wasn't briefed on.
A constitutional law professor has a view as to what... It's not a question of whether he was briefed or not. We know what the D.C. ordinance says, and whether or not it's constitutional or not, he has some idea.
He's a lawyer. He cannot say, I know the answer to this question if he doesn't know the answer to the question. The question was...
That's like Clarence...
They're not going to get a straight answer from an attorney when he wants to evade the question.
Okay, hold on. Philadelphia is supposed to be the city of brotherly love.
Clarence Thomas gave the same answer during his confirmation hearings that he never even thought about the abortion issue. Before that.
He knows right from wrong. He knows what side to be on as far as the weapons are concerned, that they're killing people needlessly in the streets of Philadelphia and elsewhere in this country. The guns should be controlled, not necessarily banned, but controlled.
I don't think, looking at Washington's murder rate, that anyone believes that people who are criminals are going to suddenly say, okay, guns are banned, I'm never going to touch them again. So I think it's a ridiculous issue to ban them anywhere. I think that the bad people...
Okay, but I want to focus on the debate. I want to focus on the two, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should be focused on the issues, not the personalities, but you all seem to be focused on both. Felipe.
I think Hillary's been a lot more crisp in her answers, but Barack has been much more focused on the core issues that matter to people.
Such as?
Such as the economy, such as national security, not so much the different controversies in terms of Reverend Wright and in terms of Bosnia, those kind of things.
Now, I want to show our audience something which has never happened in a debate before. How many of you in this room, if your candidate isn't chosen, will consider voting for John McCain? Raise your hands. Never at a Democratic, you're all Democrats in here. What is it about John McCain, Evan, what is it about John McCain that causes you to consider him as someone who's looking between Hillary?
He's got experience. He knows leadership. He's shown over his Senate career and his career in the House that he can work across the aisle. He's done things and has more experience than Barack and Hillary combined.
Why?
Well, he's a very liberal Republican, if such animal exists. He's very liberal, and you can trust his character, basically.
I think two things. When you look at the people who have come against McCain on the far right, they're people I disagree with, so that makes me lean towards him. And also, I think he's the candidate that knows what it takes when you send people in battle. His son's been overseas, and we all know his story. And I trust him to send people overseas if he needs to.
I think we've had, in George W. Bush, we've had one of the most dishonest presidents that we've had in a long time. And I think people are willing to go outside the box in order to find a truly honest person if it turns out that
outside the Democratic Party.
Yes. Yeah. This is not about dogma. this is about honesty.
But there are two major issues in this campaign to me: the war in Iraq and the economy. John McCain is on the wrong side of both of those things.
Yeah. Right. John, I'll tell you first from the dials, which you can't show you because of coverage rules. You'll get a chance to see it on Sunday evening. When they were dial testing his response to the Reverend Wright and explaining it, the lines went lower and lower and lower. And I'm going to be curious to ask them why. And when they asked the questions about the weather underground, that too did not provoke a favorable response. What was it about what Obama either was saying or not saying that agitated you? Why were you dialing it down?
Well, I resent the fact that he explained Reverend Wright's patriotism by saying he was a Marine. Timothy McVeigh was in the Army. You know, that doesn't mean anything. He has yet to explain why, whether or not he truly was there and what he actually thought of it for 20 years.
Evan, quickly.
All right, I think that with Barack and the whole Reverend Wright thing, he just didn't seem honest and sincere when he was talking. He seemed like he was backpedaling, and he wasn't being truly honest when he was talking to the camera.
His answers were very evasive.
Hey, Frank, hang on 1 second. We're going to go back.